I thank my honourable friend, the member for North Ayrshire and Arran, for leading on the debate. The Labour manifesto pledged to protect democracy by strengthening the rules around donations to political parties, and I'm pleased that these important proposals are being developed. The current debate and the recommendations of the Committee on Standards in Public Life in 2021 focused on foreign money entering the UK via companies and unincorporated associations. But I would urge my government, when they develop their proposals, to go further than this. In 2009, Lord Campbell-Savours of Allerdale, who also happens to be my father, was involved in the tortuous debates that took place in the other place before the passing of the Political Parties and Elections Act 2009. Working with other members, they secured an amendment to the government's proposals. The amendment secured an agreement that individuals giving or loaning more than £7,500 to a political party must be resident or ordinarily resident and domiciled in the UK for the tax year in which the relevant donation or loan is made. The bill and this amendment was later given royal assent. But that clause, as in many pieces of primary legislation, was subject to the development of commencement regulations. At the time, the Minister of State envisaged that secondary legislation would be completed not long after the summer of 2010. A general election interrupted that process. But primary legislation is still in place, ready to be enacted. A quick win, you might say. The Conservatives expanded the number of foreign residents eligible to donate, as has already been said, that could fund political parties in our country enormously by removing the 15-year limit on British citizens overseas being able to vote and donate to a political party. So now up to 3.5 million overseas residents could influence elections. I'm going to take on the baton handed to me by my father and his colleagues in the other place, some of whom are no longer with us, and urge MHCLG and the Electoral Commission to take on the task of drafting the secondary legislation required to ensure that overseas residents who do not pay tax in this country do not continue to be allowed to influence the outcome of elections with their money. Oh, yes, but by all means.
Giving way. The honourable member may not be aware that nearly $20,000 was donated to Sinn Féin's 2017 Assembly election campaign from the United States, representing nearly one-third of Sinn Féin's spending in that election. Those who have been so exercised about political donations here have often done nothing to close the loophole which allows huge amounts of foreign money to influence politics in Northern Ireland. Does the honourable member agree nowhere else would it happen in the world but paying the bills of a foreign political party? Yet that's what seems to happen when Sinn Féin. Does the member not agree that this loophole must close, and it should close very quickly?
Campbell-Savours. The honourable member is quite right. I was unaware of that. Under the rules, as proposed by the amendment that was made into law, these people would still be able to vote. They could even stand for election. Arguably, this would be legitimate participation, but they would not be able to spend money to disproportionately influence the outcome of elections in a country which they do not pay tax. Who runs this place should be a matter decided by those who live and pay their way here. It is they who live with the consequences of those electoral outcomes. Thank you.